Namaste and welcome to Vinyasa Flow Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua, and for today's practice, please have the usual 2 blocks and a strap. You may want to also have a pillow and a blanket, especially to start sitting in hero's pose. See if that feels appropriate for your body. Placing the knees in front of you, pointing the toes back as you're either sitting directly on your heels or using any of your props right under your pelvis, in between your ankles to sit on. So our physical practice today is going to continue what we started in yin yoga yesterday, which was bringing the hips into extension, which is a way to release tension in the hip flexors when they're continuously contracting. For example, if you need to sit for long periods of time in a chair, like in this position, this is a great way to release it, but also to expand your back bends, your heart opening postures a bit more. So as I mentioned yesterday, through the next several days, we are going to be going through the different Yoga Sutras or the wisdom teachings of Patanjali as translated in modern times with a heart-centered perspective by Nischala Joy Devi from her book, The Secret Power of Yoga. So yesterday we went over the first 4 sutras. Now these next 3 sutras tell us about, if you'll remember, she defines yoga as the uniting of consciousness at the heart. And when our attention is steady there, our awareness is steadied at the heart, then we can abide by our own true nature, which is joy. So these next 3 sutras tell us what happens when our attention or awareness strays away from our heart center. So at other times, we identify with a rays of consciousness. We fluctuate and encourage our perceived suffering. That's Sutra 4. Sutra 5. Dividing into 5, these rays of consciousness polarize as pleasant or unpleasant. You can start to feel how the kleshas start to come into play. And Sutra 6, the rays manifest as knowledge, misunderstanding, imagination, deep sleep, and memory. These are the different ways that consciousness strays away from the heart and how we start to polarize what we experience as good, bad, like, dislike, which can cause our perceived suffering. So we'll continue with the Yoga Sutras in the next few classes, but for today, take a moment to digest that. What happens when your awareness strays away from the present moment, from the heart? And without judging that, when it does, let it be more of a curiosity. So let's start to check in. As you're sitting tall and still with the eyes possibly closed, if that feels safe for you, tune into your body. What are you feeling there? Tune into the breath without changing it. What are you sensing about your energy? Tune into your heart and your mind. Notice how you feel mentally and emotionally. And then let in a deeper breath. Exhaling through the lips. Continue to lengthen your breath and maybe join your hands together at your heart center. This gesture of uniting consciousness at the heart as you start to offer gratitude for anything that you appreciate right now. So from this heart-centered perspective, clarify what your intention is for your practice today. Your personal prayer, what you're inviting in. And then remembering our part in a larger whole, and how our practice not only affects us individually, but those around us. Choose someone you'd like to dedicate today's practice to. And together, let's chant Om 3 times. Inhaling. Om. 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 Slow, even breaths. Let's begin practicing a technique for balancing effort, steadiness, and ease. And that's Ujjayi Pranayama, which means victorious breathing technique. Closing the lips, softly narrow the back of your throat. Invite a very gentle whispering sound as you lengthen your in-breath as slowly as your out-breath. As you listen to that sound and make it very gently audible, you help to bridge your awareness with the present moment, your body, uniting consciousness at the heart, practicing yoga. So see if you can keep that steady, slow rhythm going through much of our asana or physical yoga practice. Come on down to your hands and knees, all fours. Set up your hands at the top of your mat so that your fingers are spread flat, your index fingers parallel to each other or slightly turned out. Stack your shoulders on top of your wrists and stack your hips on top of your knees. Now lifting through the sides of the belly, lengthen the neck. Try to keep your 2 hips, left and right, balanced in height. As you inhale to raise the right leg behind you, bend the knee and coil your chest up. As you exhale, round your back, contracting the belly, bend the right knee towards your nose, pressing the ground away with your hands. 4 more to the breath. Inhale, extend through your front body, keeping your right hip facing the ground. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Take your last 2 at your pace of breath. And when you finish your 5th, exhaling, contracting. Lift your right knee behind you again and press the ground away with your right hand, backstroke your left arm, and see if you might be able to reach hold of the top of your right foot. If so, kick it away as you pull it towards you, using those counter forces to lift your heart and gaze up. And if you're not reaching the foot, you can place the left hand back down, keep the right leg lifted behind. A couple more deep breaths. Without slingshotting the leg, straighten the right leg behind you, parallel to the floor. Reach the left arm forward, parallel to the floor. Lengthen through the center line of your body, deep breath. And exhale back to tabletop. Let's take the other side. Keep your hips squared and inhale, raise your left knee bent behind you, coiling your chest up. Exhale, contract, rounding the back. Bend your left knee towards your nose. Inhale, extend through your front body. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend, making sort of a scorpion tail behind you. Exhale, contract. Last 2, follow your breath. Raise the left knee behind you again and press the ground away. Backstroke your right arm and see if on this side you can catch hold of the top of the foot. Kicking it away as you pull it in. Draw your navel towards your spine and lift your sternum. One more full breath. And then slow and controlled, straighten the left leg behind. Reach the right arm forward, get long to your center line. Lift through the sides of your waist. Then exhale, hands and knees to the floor. Tuck your toes behind into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Allow a few breaths to shift around any way that your body may need to move. Listen to the quality of the breath, keeping that whisper going. On your next inhale, glide forward into the top of a push-up, plank pose. Pause a few breaths and rotate your triceps, outer upper arms towards the back wall as you lift through the belly. Lengthen your neck and firm back through your inner heels. You could also place the knees on the ground for more support. Ashtangasana. Lower your knees, lower your chest, lower your chin. Pause and breathe here. Lifting the belly towards the back. Hug your elbows close to your ribs and stick your tailbone up as you gaze forward, chin to the floor. Shoulders away from the neck. On your next inhalation, glide forward onto your belly. Root down through the tops of your feet. Inhale, cobra, keeping the pelvis on the ground. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath here. Two more, steadying your gaze on one spot. After the next exhalation, walk or lightly jump to the front of your mat into a forward fold. Feet apart, parallel. Reach the hands behind you to clasp or hold a strap between. As you let your head hang freely, stretch the arms forward, away from your lower back. A few more deep breaths in your forward fold. Then plant your fingertips either on your shins, blocks, or the ground. And inhale, lengthen your spine forward, parallel to the earth. Half forward fold. Exhale, fold again. Pressing down to your feet, inhale, sweep your arms overhead as you rise, all the way up to stand, rolling the shoulders back and down. Exhale, join your hands in prayer from your crown to your heart center. Let's begin sun salutation C, connecting with the energy of gratitude as we salute the sun. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Plant your fingertips on the ground. Inhale, step your left knee back, gaze up. Holding your breath, step to plank pose. Exhale, Ashtangasana, lower knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, slide forward to Cobra, Bhujangasana. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot beside your left thumb. Right knee down, gaze up. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands together in Padasana. Last Surya Namaskar C. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Lower your fingertips. Inhale, step right knee back, Anjaneyasana. Hold your breath as you step to plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin, Ashtangasana. Inhale, slide forward to Cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, left knee down, gaze up. Exhale, left foot forward and bow. Inhale, rise tall, Urdhva Hastasana, back bend. Exhale, Padasana to the heart. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Press down with the hands. Inhale, lengthen forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Step to your version of plank. This time, exhale, glide forward. Hug your elbows to your ribs in Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to Cobra or Upward Facing Dog, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Downward Facing Dog. Let your body be still, tuning into 3 deep breaths, steadying your gaze. When you finish the third, walk or jump lightly to the front of your mat. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale to heart center. Let's bring the inner edges of the feet to touch, preparing for sun salutation B. Bend your knees together. Inhale, sit low in chair or Utkatasana. Exhale, shift forward to fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, step to plank, or lightly float to Chaturanga Dandasana. Continue through your Vinyasa. At Downward Facing Dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you, keeping your hips squared. Exhale the foot forward beside right thumb, left heel down. Inhale, rise to stand in Warrior One. Exhale, lower, Vinyasa. From Downward Facing, inhale, raise your left leg with hips squared. Exhale the foot beside left thumb, right heel down. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, Vinyasa. Downward Facing Dog, pause, rebalance the breath, 3 cycles here. Once you've emptied it, walk or float to the front of your mat. Feet together, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Knees together, inhale, chair, Utkatasana. Exhale to rise up. Take your 2 blocks with you and let's turn to face the wide width of your mat. Step or jump your feet apart, about as wide apart as you can splay the hands apart. Place your blocks behind your calves, and I'm not mirroring you here, so make sure you check with your hips. Touch your right hip and turn out your right leg 90 degrees to face the short edge of your mat. Turn in your left leg 45 degrees and align your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Warrior 2. Bend your right knee directly on top of your right ankle, firming the outer edge of your left foot down. Spin your right outer hip under your body, pointing the right knee towards your pinky toe as you firm the top of your left thigh bone back. Shoulders relax right above your hips, open your arms wide, and steady your gaze just past your right hand. Sense where your awareness goes for another 4 deep breaths. Let's prepare for half moon pose. Take the block in your right hand, bring the left hand to your left hip. Steady your gaze in front of your right foot, steady your breath. Place the block about 6 inches ahead of your right pinky toe out to the right corner. Keep the right foot still and drag the left foot forward, flexing it off the ground. Then turn your chest completely to face your side wall, stacking your shoulders over your right wrist, maybe raise the left arm up. If your body and breath feel pretty steady, You might move into standing sideways bow, in which you bend your left knee towards your belly to reach hold of the top of your left foot. Kicking the foot away as you pull it, roll the left shoulder open and draw your navel inward towards your spine, bringing your left hip into extension. Let's tune into 3 more breaths, whatever version you're practicing. Ardha Chandra Chapasana or Ardha Chandrasana. With arms and legs splayed open, take your time stepping back to Warrior Two. Keep your right knee bent there and side bend towards your left foot in Peaceful Warrior. 1 cycle of breath. Rising up, keep your feet wide apart and parallel them with legs straight. Let's start at neutral. Now touch your left hip. Turn out the left leg 90 degrees to face the opposite short edge of your mat. Turn in your right leg 45 degrees and align left heel to arch of right foot. Warrior Two. Bend your left knee right above the ankle. Firm the outer edge of your right foot down. Spin your left outer hip under, aligning the knee with your pinky toe as you firm top of your right thigh bone back. As you open your arms, stack your wrists above your ankles and steady your gaze just beyond your left hand. Sense the quality of your breathing and notice where your rays of consciousness might go when they aren't resting in the heart. Virabhadrasana 2. Let's prepare for half moon. Take the block in your left hand, bring the right hand to right hip. Steady your gaze in front of your left foot, steady your breath. Place the block about 6 inches ahead of your left pinky toe out to the left corner. Keep the left foot as it is and drag the right foot forward, flexing it off the earth. Turn your chest open towards your side wall, stacking your shoulders over your wrists, maybe raise your right arm. Or, if your balance feels really steady, prepare for standing sideways bow. Bend the right knee towards your belly, catch the top of the foot with your right hand. Kick the foot away as you pull it towards your glutes, rolling the right shoulder back, bringing your right hip into extension. Now here, be mindful not to lose the activity, the strength at your center. Keep drawing the navel in towards the spine. 3 last breaths. Ardha Chandra Chapasana or Ardha Chandrasana. With arms and legs wide open, take your time stepping back into Virabhadrasana 2. From there, sweep the left arm overhead as you side bend into Peaceful Warrior. On your next exhale, cartwheel your hands to the earth, optional to flow through a Vinyasa or cat-cow. Let's meet in downward facing duck. Tuning into a few deep breaths. Once again, keeping your 2 hips leveled in height. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, bend the knee behind you towards the ceiling like a scorpion tail like we did earlier. Turn the right hip down. Another inhale here. As you exhale, contract your lower belly, mid-belly, and round forward to plank, bending the knee towards your nose. Softly as you can, step the foot beside your right thumb and lower your left knee. Inhale, lift your torso into Anjaneyasana. Bring stability down to your legs by imagining you're dragging them towards each other. Lift your frontal hip bones and draw your tailbone down. Choose to either press your hands on the top of your right thigh as you coil your chest up. Again, we're bringing the left hip into extension here as we create a back bend. Or you could raise the arms overhead or clasp the hands behind your back, sliding the knuckles down your left leg. As you create a back bend, think of elongating your lower spine, bending the back from right under your shoulder blades. Last few breaths. Draw in your lower belly to rise up. Stack left hip above left knee, right knee above right ankle, and let's prepare for a spinal twist. Using your right hand to cup the top of your right thigh down. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Exhale, turn your chest to the right and either lower the left hand on a block or the floor inside of your right leg, raising the right arm up, or hook your left elbow outside of your right thigh. Join your hands in prayer, open your arms, or wrap. In either case, you might come into a high lunge, lifting the back knee. Be mindful to keep your hips leveled. With each inhale, lengthen your spine down the midline of your mat. With each exhale, hug your hips towards the midline, keeping them still while you rotate your rib cage, drawing your shoulders down your back. Last 2 or 3 breaths here in a variation of Parita Parsvakonasana, twisting side angle pose. Stay in your twist, look down at your right foot. Then lower your hands on blocks or the floor to frame it. Pyramid pose. Step your left foot 1/3 shorter stance forward, spin the heel down. As you straighten both legs, square your hips and inhale, lift your chest as you lengthen the spine. Hugging in the belly, exhale, hinge from the hips, breath by breath. Parsvakonasana. Keeping your throat open here, relax the shoulders back. Now you might want to grab a strap here. So go ahead and grab it while you're down here and bring your hands to your hips. Press down to your feet, lead with your chest and inhale to rise. We're gonna make a transition into standing bow in which you might find a strap useful. Watch first, steadying your gaze on one spot ahead and steadying your breath. Drawing the navel in and up, you'll shift your weight entirely into your right foot, bend the left knee to hug the right, and anchor the tailbone down, keeping the hips squared. Then you'll either backstroke your left arm to catch the inside of your left ankle or foot, kicking it away as you pull it, right arm up, or if that's hard to reach, you can lasso the top of your left foot with your strap, just like this. So decide which you'll do, and once you're at the top of your mat, in some way holding your left foot, check in with a breath. Continue to kick your left foot away as you pull it towards you, using those counter forces to lift the chest. Does that sound familiar? From the very beginning in tripod pose, in tabletop pose. So this is dancer pose or standing bow, Natarajasana. Last few breaths. So here, as you're bringing your left hip into extension, it's promoting the expansion of the chest, creating more of that heart opening back bend, which expands the breath. Without slingshotting your left leg, Warrior 3, flex the foot behind you, straighten the left leg parallel to the floor and tilt the torso forward. You could opt to place your hands on blocks or the floor or try it hands-free, with an option of coming into standing splits. Hands down, bowing towards your right shin. If you're in standing splits, option to play with tapping your left leg with the right. A slow kick up towards handstand. And when you're ready, step back to downward facing dog. maybe flow through a vinyasa. Pausing for 3 rebalancing breaths. Bringing your consciousness back to the heart, your heart. Now, keeping your hips leveled again, inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, like a scorpion tail, bend the knee. Inhale, lift the knee behind you, but turn the left hip to face the ground. Exhale, contract lower belly, mid belly, rounding to plank. Quietly as you can, step the left foot beside left thumb and lower the right knee, lifting your torso into Anjaneyasana. Find stability by isometrically dragging your legs towards each other and lifting your frontal hip bones. Drawing your tailbone down, choose to either press your hands into the top of your left thigh as you raise your heart into a back bend, raise the arms, or interlace the fingers, gliding your knuckles down your right leg. Visualize right under your shoulder blades, tilting your heart up. 3 more breaths. Engage your lower belly to rise. Stack your right hip above your right knee. Stack your left knee above your left ankle. Let's prepare to twist. Cup the top of your left thigh with your left hand. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Try to enter the same version of the twist as you did on the first side. Right hand down inside the leg or hook the elbow outside of it. Hands in prayer, arms apart, or bind. Maybe lift the back knee into a high lunge. Then continue to explore your range of motion with each part of the breath. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Hug the hips still, and exhale, rotate your rib cage. Relax the shoulders down. Remember, we're balancing the energies of exerting effort and steadiness with surrender and ease. Feel that in the breath. Stay in your twist. Gaze down at your left foot. Then on blocks or the floor, frame it with your hands. Step your right foot forward, 1/3 shorter stance, and spin the heel down. Straighten both legs and square your hips to face the front wall. Inhale, lift your chest as you lengthen your spine. Exhale, little by little, hinge forward from your hips. Pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Now, you probably have a better idea if you'll use the strap or not for standing bow. So take it if you need it. Bring your hands to your hips, then inhale to rise. Steady your gaze on one spot ahead as you steady your breath. Engage the lower belly. Take your time transitioning. Shift your weight into your left foot. Bend your right knee to hug the left and draw the tailbone towards your inner left heel. Backstroke your right arm and catch your inner right ankle or foot, or loop the top of the foot with your strap. Keep your right hip facing forward as you kick your right foot away, pull it towards you, lifting the energy up to your sternum, raise your left arm. Finding your back bend in dancer pose, Natarajasana. Without slingshotting your leg, reach the right leg behind you, warrior 3, square your hips, lengthen your spine forward. Optional to place your hands down on blocks or the ground. Optional to lower your hands and come into standing splits. Or you might play with kicking up, tapping the right leg with the left. When you're ready, vinyasa or not, we'll meet in child's pose. Three deep breaths. From Balasana or child's pose, slowly roll your spine upright to stand on your knees for our last 3 back bends. Ustrasana, camel pose. We've done quite a bit of opening our hip flexors. And as I mentioned before, when they're more open, we're able to open the heart space, the chest, the shoulders a bit more in our back bend. So let's see what you experience. For the first of 3, I invite you to take a block, hug it by the skinniest width between knees and thighs firmly, and tuck your toes behind you. Backstroke your arms and place your hands on your lower back, fingertips face down. With the help of your hands, invite your tailbone to lengthen actively towards the space between your knees and keep your pelvis directly above your knees, the whole posture. Sometimes the pelvis will want to go behind the knees like this. Keep them forward or keep the pelvis forward. Remember, we're lengthening the lower back. Focus on bending right under the shoulder blades. And just by hugging your elbows closer together, you can broaden the collarbones, open up the chest and breath. So let's try the first for 5 breaths. And when you're ready to come out, place your hands on the lower back to roll your spine upright and find a comfortable way to sit. Here we go. Inhale, lift your chest, roll the shoulder heads behind you, and find the back bend under the shoulder blades for 5 deep breaths of your count. If it's reachable on the first one, maybe you wait for the next. You might drop a hand onto the heel right below it, hold the heel and then switch hands, switch heels, or hold both. Remember, full expansive breaths. Find a comfortable way to sit for 3 breaths, resting before round 2. Maybe placing your hands in the mudra of lotus pose, activating the energy of your heart center. Heels of the palms together, inner thumbs, inner pinkies touching, thumbs resting at the sternum. Helping to bring consciousness to unite at the heart. When you're ready, take your second camel pose with or without the block. Toes tucked, or if you reached your heels pretty easily and want to go further, untuck the toes. Spiral your inner thighs towards the rear wall as you anchor the tailbone downward. Take it on your own for another 5 breaths of your count. We'll meet sitting and resting. Invite space along the back side of your neck. Remember, it's a back bend, not so much a neck bend. In this pose, how does it feel to unite consciousness at your heart? With the help of your hands, come to sit when you're ready, 3 breaths resting on your own. Sense the energy at your heart. What feels alive there? When you're ready, last camel pose for 5 breaths or so. We'll meet sitting. When you've rested for 3 breaths, please bring your legs in front of you, coming to sit, preparing for a seated spinal twist. Extending your left leg in front, bend your right knee and step the foot in front of your right hip or crossed outside of your left knee. Place your right hand behind your pelvis and raise the left arm. You might also bend the left knee as long as you can sit tall and evenly grounded. Breathe in as you press into the floor and rise through your spine. Breathe out as you twist to your right, lowering your left arm to hold your right leg or hook the elbow outside of the thigh. Breath by breath, lengthening and twisting. On your next exhalation, unwind your spine and hug your thighs closer together for Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Either splaying your feet apart or straightening the bottom leg and flexing the bottom foot. Let's bring the arms in eagle pose to counterbalance our back bends. Cross the left elbow over the right, wrap your forearms and palms or press the backs of the hands against each other. Send the shoulders down as you sit tall. Exhale as you begin hinging forward from your hips, keeping your throat open. Legs in Gomukhasana, arms in, or legs in Garudasana, and arms in Gomukhasana. Actually, reverse. Pressing down through your hips. Breathe in and start to lift your chest to rise. Release your arms and legs, maybe shake them out. Let's prepare for the twist. Step the left foot in front of you or across it outside of your right knee. Maybe bend your right knee too. Place your left hand behind your pelvis, right arm up. Root into the ground and inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist to your left. Hold your front leg or hook your elbow outside of it. On your next exhalation, unwind your spine and hug your thighs closer together. Splay your feet apart for Gomukhasana, cow face pose. You could also straighten your right leg in front of you. Bend your elbows apart, cross the right elbow over the left. Backs of the hands pressed together or wrap the forearms and palms for Garudasana, eagle arms. Draw the shoulders down as you sit tall, breathe in. Exhaling, hinge forward, little by little. Next, inhale, root down through your sitting bones, rise up from the heart space, and release. Maybe shake it out. Straighten the legs forward. Let's prepare for Paschimottanasana. Flex the feet. You could use a strap around the balls of your feet if you like. Otherwise, raise the arms, sit tall as you breathe in. Shoulders relax. Lead with your heart so the chest is slightly lifted as you bow from the hips. Press through the hips, breathe in to rise up. Please find a comfortable way to practice pranayama before we rest in Shavasana. Coming into the practice of Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing. Sitting grounded, tall, and relaxed, rest your left hand on your lap. Perhaps choose a mudra, like Gyan Mudra, or Pran Mudra, energizing, Gyan Mudra, tuning deeper inward. Place the right hand in Vishnu Mudra, sticking out the thumb, pinky, and ring fingers. Continue to breathe with the lips closed, slow and very soft breathing. We'll use the right thumb to close right nostril like this, and the right ring and pinky to close left nostril like this. Alternate nostril breathing. Let's practice 3 cycles together and 2 cycles on your own. Maybe close the eyes and steady your gaze inward towards your heart center. Consciousness at the heart. Empty the breath to prepare. Hold it out. Close right nostril with right thumb. Inhale slowly through left. Hold it in. Close left. Exhale gently through right. Hold it out. Inhale through right. Hold. Close right. Exhale left. Hold. Cycle 2. Inhale left. Hold. Close left. Exhale right. Hold. Inhale right. Hold. Close right. Exhale left. Hold. Cycle 3. Inhale left. Hold. Close left. Exhale right. Hold. Inhale right. Hold. Close right. Exhale left. Hold. Keep going for 2 more cycles. Take your time finishing at your pace. When you do, breathing naturally, observe how you're feeling now. Especially sense your energy. Taking your time, please lower your body to the ground. Find a comfortable position to lie down and rest in stillness for about 5 minutes in Shavasana. Closing your eyes and breathing naturally, resting your awareness at the heart. Resting a little longer with eyes closed, notice your body and how it's feeling. Begin with small movements to slowly wake up your body, like wiggling your fingers and toes, and graduate into easy stretches. Still keeping the eyes closed, helping to practice pratyahara, tuning inward. Turning over onto your right side, rest your head and pause a moment there, observing the natural breath. And noticing how you're feeling energetically now. Sense the effects of your practice of yoga. Take your time lifting your body up. Find a comfortable way to sit again. Tall, relaxed, grounded, open. You might choose to place your hands in Lotus Mudra, bringing awareness to the energy of your heart. Let's sit, tuning inward for 5 minutes in meditation. Sensing what feels alive in your heart right now. Being with any and all emotions there. Perhaps even naming succinctly any emotions you acknowledge. As you notice the most predominant one, sense how it shows up in your physical body right now. Notice any sensations or felt sense related to that emotion. Practicing non-judgment. Let go of any narratives about what you're feeling. Practice holding space for any and all of it. As you tune back into your heart, ask it what it needs right now. Does your heart need anything specific to feel nurtured? Maybe a loving, soothing gesture or words of loving kindness to yourself. Or conjuring up an image of something that brings you peace, joy. Now rest in the feeling of that nurturance and holding space for yourself. And sense how you're feeling now in mind and heart. Maybe joining your hands in prayer, offering gratitude for anything you appreciate. And then remember what your intention was for this practice. And remember to whom you dedicated today's practice. Sense them in some way receiving your loving kindness. Let's close chanting Om 3 times. Inhale. Bow in towards your heart center, the light within. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.